All right, we're diving into the next part of my behind-the-scenes flaw and all review gameplay. For anyone new here, this is the gameplay that I am pulling my review from. That's if we do go through with the full review. If people, by the time we get this done and in the works, if people lose interest, then I don't know if we'll finish it. That's up to you guys. So hit that like button. Definitely let me know if you're interested in finishing this up. Also, Doomsday Kingdom Volume 1 graphic novel is on Indiegogo. Check it out whether it's still up, because we're right in the middle of deciding whether we're going to leave it up for another month or just go in demand. When it's in demand, it means we're in the middle of getting the order all done and stuff from the printer. And then if you order it in demand, it'll be shipping quick. I think we're still shooting for an August ship date. So really big book, really good competitive price, new fresh voice in the zombie genre. I'm actually the creator and writer, so definitely check that out if interested on Indiegogo. Outside of that, let's dive into the Chalet, I believe it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong.
What about this one?
When I was 12, I found a skateboard.
Uh-oh.
And I tried to get on it. And it shot right out from underneath me.
Wait, how did you get the scar?
I fell on my knife.
Okay. The chemical burn. I did it myself.
Why?
To cover a bite mark. Right here. I got jumped by an infected when I was 14. And turns out I'm immune, so it healed with a ring of fucked up teeth marks and cysts and... Ow!
Fuck you.
What? Hey!
I told you a real fucking story.
I did tell you a real fucking story.
Oh, you want a bite mark?
What?
Do you hear that?
Jesse? Just stay there, okay?
Are you okay?
Just will
What's
you wait,
going on?
please? What? Just turn around. What are you
Are
doing?
you kidding me? You're supposed to be on patrol.
There's a blizzard outside.
Is that weed?
Why are you here?
People are counting on you. You get that? What we do matters.
Well, then why aren't you at the fucking lookout?
Because Tommy and Joel didn't show up.
What do you mean?
We waited for them for an hour. I was looking for their horses when I saw lights.
Maybe they just went back to town.
Without being replaced? No way. How much of their region have you covered?
Not much.
Then we split up. Go at it from different sides, and we can cover the whole thing in a few hours.
I don't like you riding solo. We don't know what's out there.
Exactly. What if they need help?
Okay, I'll head west. Dina can take south, and you come from the east, but be smart about it, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, now I was thinking about something and I forgot what it was. It had to do with that cutscene.
Let's get inside!
I remember what it was, but I don't want to interrupt the cinematics, but I'll make this quick. A couple things. One is Ellie telling her about the bite mark is a big thing. For me, it didn't land, and even after playing through the game twice and reading notes in her journal and, knowing that they were close friends ever since Ellie and Joel pretty much got there, it just doesn't do shit for me. And it should. I mean, we should at this point in time have so much interaction between Dina and Jesse where it's a big moment where she reveals that. It's that's a secret. She's revealing that no one else knows besides Joel and Tommy, but she doesn't know that. Anyway, it's a big deal and it just doesn't hit. And then here having these two characters, I cringe. At first I was listening to Neil Druckmann explain why this scene plays out the way it does. And he says, I'm paraphrasing, but he says in an interview, it's because Joel doesn't expect the girl who he saved to attack her, so he keeps his eye on everyone else except for her. My whole thing is it's kind of dumb because they're outnumbered, and everything he said to explain it away. He's been living in Jackson, it's been peaceful, he's letting his guard down, getting a little older for years. Yeah, he's not that same Joel from part one. Everything he says just rings hollow. It feels like someone who just needed Joel out of the way, and they didn't, because originally they had a bigger, more involved Abby infiltrating the Jackson community. It was real big and more involved, and it feels like they just said, we need to get right to the point. Just get to it. And Joel and Tommy know this location. They call it the Baldwin House. They know this location. They know the area. They know the types of people that travel through here. If they were going to show us more or give us hints of more travelers that, roll through, it just feels so stupid that they would be so outnumbered, even if it's a younger group. It's just so painfully dumb, man.
They scared us.
I know. How you guys doing?
We're good. Thanks.
Yeah. Can I talk to you for a minute?
You want to get those saddles off?
No, it's all right. We'll just ride out the storm and get out of here.
Oh, got any brushes or towel or anything?
You are nothing but lucky.
You have no idea.
Y'all get electricity in here.
Where the fuck have you been?
There are solar panels on the roof.
And who are these people?
How long y'all been here?
Since yesterday?
Yesterday.
Yep.
What are y'all doing out this way?
Just passing through. You two live nearby?
We do. A few hours down the hill. Y'all should come back with us, restock before you head out.
Appreciate it.
It's so cringy.
I'm Mel, by the way.
Tommy, this is my brother.
Joe. Y'all act like you heard of us or something.
Because they have.
Laura? All clear?
He's out. Put him against the wall.
Tommy! Get off me! Get off me!
Puta madre.
Joel Miller.
Who are you?
Guess.
Why don't you say whatever speech you got rehearsed? Get this over with.
Now, I will intercut here and tell you, this is one of my favorite parts. Now, two things. One, it's one of my most hated because this is just idiotic. It's Neil Druckmann getting rid of his mistake. I did a whole video on it. He got criticized by his own people for making a white male straight lead. I don't know why any of that freaking matters. It's a good character. That's all you need to know. So he needed to take that mistake out. And then I did many videos on it. So anyway, I hate this whole scene. This is, if you're looking at the ultimate sacrificial lead character for agenda, Joel is it. he owns that anyway. We'll break that down in another way. But my favorite moment is this one little subtle moment that the writers probably didn't even think of when they put that in there. In their minds, Abby can't tell Joel who she is because it tells us. It reveals to us the, surprise later on that they wanted us to find out. But what it does, without them realizing it, it shows how absolutely worthless and inconsequential Abby is. She thinks in her head she's got Joel on her mind, Joel on her mind, Joel on her mind. She finally gets to him and she's like, guess. And he can't, because to you, you're just some, dumb bitch whose father I killed. You know how many fathers he's killed? You know how many people he's killed? To him, that's why I love it so much. I love it so much when she's like, guess, and you kind of see him look around like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Guess. You know how many people I killed? Do you know how many people I crossed? Like, what the fuck you mean guess? Like, so dumb. Anyway, that is my little one favorite dig that I pull from that, because in there it's like, it shows how meaningless Abby is in Joel's world, essentially. It's like, bro, it was one little stab. And that's another thing. Joel was saving a child. He simply stabs her father. This chick tortures him, like a sick, sadistic bitch, and we're supposed to love her by the end. And then on top of that, you have the main question. Does Abby ever tell Joel who she is? Obviously, she can't do it in front of us. But does she ever tell him? He never answered that. Druckmann never answered that, but I would love to know.
Tourniquet his leg. Do it.
Don't you fucking move.
God damn it!
One last thing that I do actually kind of like, and I feel like if they gave us a true part 2 and this was part 3, I think the franchise fandom as a whole would have been raving over it. And again, I've already explained numerous times why. They forgot they were making a video game. Anyway, in part 1, when he was looking for Ellie, when David had Ellie, Joel, and this symbolizes Joel's brutality, he sticks a knife in a guy's kneecap, and he was like, I will pop your kneecap off if you don't tell me where she is, and yada, yada, yada. And then in this one, I'm hoping this isn't just a coincidence. I'm hoping they were clever enough, at least, or smart enough, at least, to kind of show that. That was a symbolism of his brutality, and now that brutality has come back around to him. That type of writing, in a way, I love it.
Clear out. You stupid old man. You don't get to rush this.
There we go. They downgrade Joel to just a catalyst for revenge forgiveness. So fucking retarded.
Shit. How do I get down there?
And I get it. She sees the bodies. I know some people were criticizing that. For me, that's fine. It's like, that's a smart way to show setting that up, showing the bodies and hitting them with Molotovs in the story. I think that's a neat and clever way to do it. Some people criticized it. I will admit, I do agree. You have Jesse, you've got Dina,
Joel!
you've got Ellie.
Tommy!
Out of all three of them, it's Ellie. It is convenient. It is awfully convenient, but it is what it is. But that is a flaw, the convenience. But it's only a little point, for anyone new here. a specific flaw
You're okay.
only gets a point. Combo flaws get multiple points. But that's got to be like the visual is ass, the sound design is ass. It's convenient right there would be 3 points.
There it is.
I was gonna do a little more exploring, but I guess that's pretty much it. It's just woods, pretty much, because you can't fight anyone, so it's pointless to
Joel?
have stuff to loot here.
Tommy!
I guess they would just have it here to keep the feel that you're gonna be fighting and rescuing them. Yeah, it's all bullshit, but
Where is that coming from?
listen to the sounds for the review.
Joel. Shit. Fuck.
Nice look. It's held up. After all these years, it sure held up. I don't think there's anything else to loot in here. This is pretty much just cinematic setup to I don't know what you would call that. Kind of like a cinematic gameplay. At least they got some of the finer details. You've got their WLF bag. She later finds 2 of these, I think, when she's hunting Leah down and Abby, right? No, is that a book bag? Seeing the depth of the sound effects.
Pin her down!
Get off me!
Get her hand!
Get the fuck off me!
You got her! Look, you got her! Okay?
You're gonna fucking die!
What's going on?
Let him go!
Who is that?
Let him
She
go!
snuck in.
Why aren't you posted up outside?
We didn't think anyone was gonna show up.
What the hell did you expect? We gotta get out of here before the whole town's on top of us. You're done.
You want what I want, right?
End it. Now.
Joel, get up. Joel, fucking get up. Please stop. Please don't shoot. Joel, please get up. No! Fucking kill you.
Some crap there. Good sound design. I'll explain in a second.
Ellie?
Ellie.
I'm sorry.
Jesse! They're down here!
So yeah, this is leading into the next part. We're going to be getting to this. I think it is called... I forget. But anyway, the packing up. That's going to be the next chapter. Anyway, the sound design there, really well done. Some of the negatives, though, obviously we'll cover all the positives and negatives in the main review. But something that I knew was a cheap kind of gimmick the first time I saw it was the ringing. Now, it is well done in the sense that Joel's getting his dome cracked in, and it has that kind of ringing. And even when Ellie has these PTSD moments later on, that ringing returns, it's been utilized in shows before. You know, villains have themes, but they'll bring back different themes to represent emotions. So it's kind of like that reminder. It brings you back to that moment. Anyhow, however, the way where it gets kind of cheap and gimmicky is where they do it so you don't hear anyone else's and what they're saying. Now, in a way, I can kind of see what they're going for, where you're in such a rage or a state, or your mind's going a million miles an hour, your emotions are going through the roof. You might not hear all the details in a room. You might just hear, bits and pieces of what people are saying. In all the chaos, you might hear 2-3 different words. Here they try to just block it out altogether, and then later it's like supposed to be this, more of a weighty reveal that Owen, essentially, I think it's pretty much Owen is the only one who is like, no, guys, what is the matter with you? If we kill them, then we're no good. We're no better than Joel. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty much only Owen. But a lot of that just kind of falls flat and but within even with the problems that I'm mentioning, this is still really, really well done. Like, if you didn't play part 1, this scene is fine. I mean, it's yeah, sure, it's a bit gimmicky covering the sound with the voices. It's a cheap trick to do a reveal later on, but you can see how they would explain it away, like I just said. So if you didn't play part 1, this scene is fantastic. Well done. If you didn't watch The Walking Dead, this scene seems a little more original. Being a big fan of The Walking Dead, both the comic and the show, this scene is embarrassingly unoriginal. I mean, it is, I don't understand. This isn't like a indie game that kind of snuck around. This is one of the biggest gaming events people were waiting on, and they ripped off one of the biggest TV shows in the zombie genre, one of the biggest zombie TV show and the biggest zombie comic. I can't get around that. It's as bad as Star Wars ripping off the end of the Thanos and Iron Man moment. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but I've told you guys before, that's a cheap trick in Hollywood. If something works big, take it, redo it a little bit and reuse it, because the audience has already said that they love that. So that's all they did here. Shit, how do we take out Joel? Well, The Walking Dead, this death was huge, man. Let's do that. Everyone loved Negan. Negan got a redemption. They'll love Abby. Guys, don't think like they didn't go over all this. This is definitely stuff that was considered. It's just utilizing something that they know fans were okay with and loved. Some fans loved. I thought it was great in The Walking Dead, but here it's cheaply unoriginal and shallow. Now, again, so if you didn't see The Walking Dead, you probably love it. Even if you saw The Walking Dead and you don't mind that it is just the same type of kill, except for without any mini money mo, if you weren't a Joel fan, I mean, if you were just looking forward to Ellie, or if you're just not that big into Joel and Ellie, and you're like, I love Uncharted, but I really don't care about Drake. I mean, I can take it or leave it. You can pretty much put any character, and I know that's a sin to say. I get why people like Drake. He comes off as charming and witty. But for me, right now, it's a character that he never really grew on me. So you can pretty much trade him out for anybody, and I would love it. You feel me? So it's kind of like the same thing. So for any Joel fans in particular, I would imagine there's only a tiny portion of fans that are like, oh my God, I love this moment here in totality. Anyway, I'm shut up, just giving some extra thoughts on top of that. Feel free to put your thoughts and opinions down below. I'm sure one of you is going to, I'm the biggest Joel fan ever, and I'm okay with this, you know? That doesn't mean everyone else should be okay with it. This was cheap, lazy, and they could have done this, but given us 5 hours less of Abby at a minimum and given it to Joel and Ellie with one last hoorah as Joel. That's one of the biggest sins that from part 2 is just hopping right over Joel so easily as a character. That's like insane. That's crazy. But get ready for part 3. It's going to be Abby and Lev. Anyhow, don't forget Doomsday Kingdom on Indiegogo. Check it out. That's all I got to say. Go read it. We are trying for hitting that 10K mark, and we got a lot of freebie giveaways if we hit that 10K mark. We got another one coming at 8,000. We hit that. Everyone's getting the free clown poster for hitting 7,500. So jump on board if you're interested. All right. Thanks. And hit that like button. Show me you like these vids. Bye.